For our interactive oral, we are going to talk about concentration camps in Germany during World War II, between 1933 and 1945.
Terror and prosecution were just as characteristics for the NS regime like the non-stopping propaganda. While many citizens cheered Adolf Hitler, he let cover Germany with a dense net of concentration camps were places of brutal arbitrariness. With the
Reichstagsbrandverordnung, which means Reichstag Fire Enactment,
which was issued on the 28th of February 1933, the National Socialistic built a first legal basis for the reckless persecution of their opponents. Since March 1933, the SA and SS built status concentration camps in which prisoners were abused and often even killed. Every even potential opponent had to expect to be taken into preventative custody, what became to the synonym for the status NS terror. After elimination of the SA by action of the SS, Heinrich Himmler built the SS and the Gestapo to organ of terror and prosecution in 1934. Following the example of the Kampagenda of the concentration camp Dachau, also the main camps are
Sachsenhausen, Buchenwald, Ravensbrück, Neuengamme, and Flossenbürg.
Numerous satellite and labor camps got afflicted to them. After the affiliation of Austria, the system concentration camps got transferred to there too by building the main camp,
Mauthausen.
The camps were under control of the SS institution. Inspection of concentration camps under the leader of Theodor Eicke. He was the initiator of the Death's Head units, who were mainly responsible for management and custody of the concentration camps.
More and more victim groups got included in the terror. Communists, Social Democrats, and Jews who got abducted straight after the takeover of the concentration camps were followed by members of religious cults and orders. Christian priests, gypsy and homosexuals, and later on also prisoners of war were put into the camps. Countless antisocials were imprisoned due to preventive crime fighting. After the Crystal Night in 1938, the number of prisoners increased to 60,000. In this night, endless Jewish homes, shops, cemeteries, etc. got destroyed. This event denotes the transition from the discrimination of Jews to the systematic persecution. The prisoners were separated into different groups who were competing for better living conditions. With this conscious, purposive contrasts were put between the political prisoners and the criminals. Named were the inmates after colored cloth triangles, which they had to wear additionally to the outwardly labeling and which were assigning them their hierarchy in the camp. Who got put into a concentration camp had difficulties to get back his freedom. Escape attempts usually ended with the death of the prisoner. The living conditions in the camps were beneath human dignity. Shaven, registered and numbered, and only dressed with a prisoner uniform, the people had lost their external individuality and any rights. They lived in continuous fear of death and were suspectable for the arbitrariness of the guards. When they were following one rule, they automatically impinged another one. During the early morning exercise, they were sent through the mud and afterwards punished due to their dirty clothes. Cruelties like the arbitrarily arranged appeals during snow and cold were meant to break the will of the prisoners and demanded victims. Single detentions were similar to a death sentence. Like within the medical experiments of Josef Mengele in Auschwitz, similar experiments on humans led to thousands of deaths in the concentration camps. After the beginning of the war in 1939 until March 1944, additional 22 new camps with 1,200 satellite camps were built next to the 7 main camps. From spring 1942 on, the camps were under the control of the Economy and Administration Main Office of the SS under Oswald Pohl. For an increase in the war production, the prisoners were disclosed to the annihilation through labor. Profitable, Pohl organized the reckless exploitation of their workforce in prestigious German industry. Alone in the first 8 months of the year 1943, about 60,000 of the all in all about 220,000 prisoners died due to emaciation or plagues. Guarded by about 40,000 SS members, the number of the registered camp prisoners increased to more than 500,000 in August 1944. In January 1945, 4 months later, the number was over 700,000. About 90% of these were in German. Up to 450,000 people died until 1945 alone in the camps in the territory of the German Reich due to violence, shortage, illness, or compulsory labor. All in all, there were between 2.5 and 3.5 million concentration camp prisoners between 1933 and 1945.
Because of the Soviet troops, all prisoners were moved from the east to the west. These forced marches caused even more deaths. Who finally arrived at reception camps like Bergen-Belsen was exposed to plagues. This is obviously seen in the reader because Hannah was the guard during one of these marches.